Can you just focus it? No secrets anymore.
Okay, what you see is are the concept containers, vegetable soup, ingredients, starter. Starter is the soup because originally I wanted to do a full meal. Now it's only the starter. Okay. Shopping list, shop, prepare ingredients to vegetables, and finish soup. And the blue pathway is the hierarchical-like pathway, which starts with the top, then goes into the next hierarchy level, but only one successor here, and then goes into the next hierarchy level, and then follow the children of the ingredients group, which are now in a sort of a sequence, and then go to the next on the second hierarchy level. It's just an arbitrary pathway. You can do any pathway you like. And the green pathway is a different one. This is what I originally called chronological pathway, because that's the order of how you do things, go shopping and prepare a list and go shopping and so on. And that involves only a few of those concept containers. So this is the CCM, the knowledge objects, and there are 20 objects, and they are just duplicated, as I said, in each concept container. Everywhere the same structure. There are 3 different micro pathways. The one is that blue one that connects different knowledge objects here at the top. The other one is a green one. I just called them like if they were really pedagogical meaningful. And here you see that there are some alternatives that share knowledge objects from the earlier one and from a prior pathway, and some that are special. And then I have an artificial sequential micro pathway, which just illustrates that you can have a pathway that connects knowledge objects just one after the other without any branching. So that's also possible here. And that whole thing is now it's modeled in this ontology. And in the learner state ontology, I'm declaring, for example, current learning objects. And current learning objects is one concept container and one knowledge object. So it's the ingredients shopping list concept container and the knowledge object 006, which is this one. That's the current learning object. And now I'm asking, no, wait. I have also declared the current learning pathway. That's also in the learner state ontology because it's part of the current learner state. So what pathway is the learner currently on? There's a macro pathway, the chronological one, and a micro pathway, the multi-stage.
So this is the pathway that this learner is on, and not the pathway that you declared as a teacher.
I have declared all the pathways, and currently the learner is following the multi-stage pathway. That is the one he has selected. Okay? Mm-hmm. So both exist, but the learner has selected multi-stage, so it's the current pathway. So that means next the upper pathway, the blue one, is the one that is selected. Because there are several alternatives for knowledge object 6. On the blue pathway, it's those that are the successors, and on the green pathway, it's those ones. And I can actually now use certain ontology class expressions, and I have modeled those in another ontology, which imports that learner state. And this is the ontology that will later be used by the query builder. It just takes these class expressions and executes them with the reasoner. So I have, for example, a class expression direct successor of current knowledge object. So the direct successor on the current pathway of the current knowledge object, and it says it's KO8 and 9. And this is basically what you see here, direct successors. I can also ask for all successors, that is 8, 9, and 10, because it also involves the indirect successors that are in the transitive closure of that successor relation. I can now, for example, choose a different pathway. That is, the learner state is updated if the learner selects another pathway. Then I remove a single ontology axiom and add another one and say that inquiry-based learning pathway is now the current pathway. So this is just a minor update in the learner state. I do not do anything in the query builder. And then I just synchronize the reasoner, and now it's those other two members, the other two knowledge objects that are the successors, and that are the ones on the green pathway, 19 and 20. So there was one discussion that we had. What happens if we reach the end of a concept container? And so, for example, the learner now moves on to knowledge object 20. Then the next one on the pathway should be the next one on the macro pathway.
Yeah.
So we now have to follow the macro pathway. So I can also say, okay, now in the learner state, current learning object is now knowledge object 20. Also a minor update in the learner state ontology, and the query builder synchronize. Now jumps to the first knowledge object in the next concept container. That is 1, 1, 1 and 1, 2. And now I have just prefixed them with another indicator that says, okay, now it's the next concept container. So this is also done with the same class expression for the reasoning. I didn't change anything here. This automatically takes the current macro pathway into account. It takes the current micro pathway into account, and it takes into account whether we are in the middle of a concept container or at the end of a concept container. And this is what will be realized in the query builder, and I don't have to change anything there. So that is the idea, and that's what I wanted to show. Thank you.